Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit Lowes.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
Buying a car in Carvana was so easy. I was able to finance it through them.
Whoa, wait, you mean finance?
Yeah, finance. Got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan, entered my terms, and shot from thousands of great car options all within my budget.
That's cool that financing through Carvana was so easy.
Financed. Done. And I get to pick up my car from their Carvana vending machine tomorrow.
Financed.
Right, that's what I said.
You can spend time trying to pronounce financing, or you can actually finance and buy your car today on
Carvana.
Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Welcome back to The Relatable Black Girl, where I'm your host, Simone. And in this episode, I wanted to talk about not taking things personal. And I know sometimes that can be very difficult to do, but there's this quote that I live by, and it's, the way people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. And it's vice versa. The way you treat others is a direct reflection of how you feel about you. I feel like I have people in my life, like we all do, who are quote unquote just telling it like it is. And they will say things and do things in the meanest, most harshest way possible. And I feel like you have to know that those are people who are acting out of insecurity. And I know some days are harder than others, especially if you're already having a bad day and you don't like your hair, you don't like your makeup, you don't like your outfit. So then when you have someone who is kind of basically validating in a way what you already know or feel, but they're doing it in a way that is mean and just like cruel, I think sometimes it's very hard not to let them get to you. But we're all going to have bad days. We're all going to have bad days where we say, do, or look in a way that we feel like don't represent who we are as a person. And you definitely don't need someone around you who is constantly going to remind you of every slip up that you have, every bad moment that you have, or waiting for a moment for you not to be what they might feel like, because a lot of this comes from jealousy, what they might feel like is perfect. Oh, well, today your hair's not done. Oh, well, today your shirt has a stain on it, or just anything to just like tear you down, to bring you down to their level. This is something that I feel like personally I go through a lot as someone who is trying to just like elevate myself and be the best version of me that I can. And I spend a lot of time like working out, trying to eat right, keeping up with my maintenance, my hair, my lashes, my nails, reading books, trying to grow as a person and handle situations better than what I have in the past. And I feel like I always want to run across people who want to remind me of like the old version of myself, or they want to like spread rumors, or Simone used to be this or that. But it's like, let's talk about right now. Let's talk about the present. I think it's just really important to not let those things get to you, because once they start getting to you, they affect how you act. Because now you're cautious of your hair, or you're cautious of what you say or what you're wearing, and you're not being your true self because you don't want someone to like criticize you. And I have really learned that when you don't care and you just let people talk, they eventually see that you don't care, and they kind of shut up a little. They don't completely shut up, but they shut up a little when they see like, oh, this girl could care less. She's still just doing her thing, minding her business and enjoying her life. And that's something that I've been working hard towards doing, because I too have days when I do take things personal. And I titled this podcast episode, Don't Take It Personal, but Take It Personal, because you have to know that it's something within you that trigger other people. If people are constantly talking about you, constantly got something to say, it's something about you that they wish that they had, or just triggers insecurities within them. And that is the truth, okay? And I know sometimes it's hard to believe, because I used to be one of those people where it was so hard for me to believe that someone would be jealous of me. It was so hard for me because I'm like, I'm not Beyonce, and you don't have to be. You don't have to be Beyonce for people to be jealous of you or want something that you have. And I think that it's very important that you as a person notice the way that you're talking to and you're treating people. Because sometimes treating people better and treating them with more kindness can also help you treat yourself with more kindness, be more positive to yourself. And I think it's important that you recognize when you're doing it to others, because I was friends with someone and I was not originally rude to them or mean to them, but they said some things that I didn't like. And instead of me being like a grown woman, a big girl, and being like, hey, you said this and that, and I don't like it. Instead, it like those things that they said to me triggered something in me that made me feel insecure. And then I constantly wanted to like tear them down or just be like a bitch to them because I was upset because they made me feel insecure. They made me feel bad about myself. And I realized that I was taking what they were saying way too personal. I should have just separated myself if that's the case. If someone's making you feel bad about who you are, the way you look, your hair, just separate yourself from them. If it's not coming from a place of love and kindness, then separate yourself. I recently had an experience with a coworker where I actually sent them a message, like apologizing to them if I offended them, but they're just very young and she's a nice looking girl. And I told her that I'm like, you have such a pretty face, you know, and you're so young, you know, you only have one kid. It's just you. I feel like you should put more effort into like the way you look, the way you present yourself. And that may be a difference with the type of men that you attract, because she is actively dating, you know. And honestly, I kept saying like things to her about it. And I literally had to send her a message apologizing to her and letting her know like, hey, you can wear your hair however you want. You can present yourself however you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to offend you. I just like you so much as a person that I want to push you, you know. But even when I was talking to her, I tried my hardest to say it in like a nice way and not a mean way. That's why I gave her a compliment and let her know like, I think you're a great person. I think you're so pretty. You know, I want to see you present yourself better. But at the same time, say what you have to say and then just let it go. If you don't want to be around somebody because you don't like the way they're presenting themselves, then don't be around them, which that's not the case. You know, I'm just someone that I'm working on myself and I'm elevating, and I want to see other people around me elevate. I want to see them do better. I want to see them be happy. You know what I mean? Like, I was in school working towards becoming a registered nurse, and I had someone in my ear like being a little like negative towards me. They were also in school to become a registered nurse, and I just thought it was so weird because it was like, once you get your degree, they're not going to stop handing them out. They're not going to be like, there's no more registered nurses. And I feel like that's the same way that you should think about life. Anybody can have a come up, anybody can grow, anybody can elevate. It's not just only certain people who are allowed to do that. And I feel like sometimes I have people around me who wants me to believe that. Like, at one point in my life, I had people around me who wanted me to believe that success was not for me, or this was not for me. Becoming a registered nurse is not for you. And don't let anybody tell you what is for you, and what is yours will always be yours. It's not something that you have to beg and plead for. It's either something that you work hard towards and that naturally gravitate towards you, because that's just not talking about a career, because of course you have to work hard for a career, but that's also talking about people who come into your life. And I just feel like I'm in this space where I notice that people will be very negative towards you doing something because it's you. And that's why this episode is titled, Don't Take It Personal, but Take It Personal. Because it's something in you that triggers others. It's something in you that makes them insecure. It's something in you. Maybe they're afraid of you passing them up. And some people, that's their power. Oh, I'm the registered nurse of the group and all my friends are medical assistants or they're techs, and that's their power. So to see somebody have what they have, it feels like somebody's taking something away from them, but they're not. We can all look nice. We can all dress nice. We can all have careers. It's not taking away from who you are as a person. And I just feel like it's really sad that some people look at other people's success or elevation as a threat. I cannot take the way people feel about me personal. The people who love me, care about me, and want to support me are going to do it no matter what. They're not going to let what someone else says stop them from getting to know you as a person and forming their own opinion or giving you a chance if they genuinely care about you. So for me, I felt like when I was taking things personal, it was stopping me from being who I was as a person. I'm like cautious about what I say, what I do, and I kind of feel like I had to hide who I was to kind of like protect who I am, because I didn't want that to be like that person to be like ripped apart, versus if you put on a persona, if you just like, this is who I am here, and people criticize that and they tear it apart, it doesn't really hurt, as much as genuinely being who you are. And I'm just now coming into a space where I feel like I can just be me. And if you don't like it, well, then you don't like it. If you don't know, that's a quote from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But yeah, like I can just be who I am, and the people who care about me are going to gravitate towards me, and the people who don't, I'm not going to let them feel comfortable to just be around me and tear me apart. I'm not. You're either not going to say nothing or you're just going to keep it cute. Because I am going to stand up for myself. One of the last things that I want to talk about is that there are people out here who will befriend you and talk down to you on purpose. Like I had a situation where I met someone out here. They were like an associate, and she just constantly just tried to be negative towards me, criticize me. And I was like so confused, because at the same time, she kept wanting to be my friend. She kept calling me, texting me, wanting to go out with me. But then she would be negative towards me. And then one day she called me like really late, and she was just talking about all these things that she was like insecure about. And I'm like, oh my God, now it makes sense. She is just so insecure about herself that she just has to have someone that she puts down to make herself feel better. And I'm telling you, there are people out here who purposely befriend people who they feel like is beneath them. They feel like that person is beneath them, and it makes them feel better about themselves. To be like, oh, I have a nicer body than her. I'm prettier than her. I have a better career than her. And there's people who will pretend like they want to take you under their wings, but then they're upset when you really start elevating and growing and doing things and having things that they don't have. And then it turns into a competition. And that's why I'm telling you, don't take it personal, but take it personal. Okay. It is something about you that people wish that they had. And that's why they are talking about you. That's why you're the topic of conversation. And be very cautious of people in the way that they treat others, and also be very cautious of the way that you treat people. Okay, I feel like it's better to just cut someone off than stick around and treat them bad, or you stick around and allow them to treat you bad. Like, it's better to just walk away from situations when they're toxic like that. I'm Simone. This is the Relatable Black Girl, you guys. I know I've been a little absent for a couple of weeks. I've had a lot of things going on. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I will see you guys the next time.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.